You know, the biggest war happening right now, it's not what you think. It's not being fought with soldiers or tanks. Nope. It's a battle for the very hearts of AI, the silicone that brings them to life. We're talking about the AI chip war. That quote really just nails it, right? The future of AI, this tech it's changing everything. It's not just about some clever code. It's being hammered out, literally forged in the most advanced factories on Earth, all on these little pieces of silicon. So, in this war, like any war, there's a king, and this king's name is NVIDIA. They've built this massive, seemingly untouchable empire on silicon. For years, they've just been the top dog. And believe me, they are not taking their foot off the gas. So how does a king like that stay on top? Well, you build bigger, badder weapons. We're not talking about just one powerful chip here. Imagine hundreds of them, all linked together, acting like one single massive AI brain. That's NVIDIA's whole game plan. These super chips are so powerful they can start to look like actual intelligence. It's honestly just mind-blowing engineering. And all that power, what does it get you? It gets you this, 82%. That's NVIDIA's slice of the entire AI data center market. I mean, let's be real, that's not a lead. That's pretty much a total monopoly on the plumbing of the entire AI world. Okay, if that number doesn't shock you, maybe this visual will. That giant bar, that's NVIDIA. And that little sliver next to it, yeah, that's everyone else. All of them. AMD, Intel, Google, you name it. They're all just fighting for the leftovers. So the big question is, how on earth did NVIDIA build a fortress this strong? Well, this is where it gets really interesting, because the secret to NVIDIA's power, their real moat, if you will, it's not actually the hardware. No, it's something way more subtle and honestly way stickier. It all comes down to the code. And that secret? It's called CUDA. For more than 10 years, NVIDIA has been carefully, painstakingly building this software world. And here's the kicker. It only works on their stuff. AI programmers, they grow up on it, they build everything with it, they basically live and breathe CUDA. So if you're a company and you want to switch to a competitor, you have to rewrite everything. I'm talking billions of dollars in engineers and debugging. That, my friends, is what you call an economic moat, and NVIDIA's is more like a giant canyon. And just to show you what this means in the real world, look at this. The code on the left, that's CUDA. It's awesome, it's powerful, but it's a one-way street. It only runs on NVIDIA GPUs. You're locked in, period. But look at the right. There's a glimmer of hope, a potential key to unlock this whole thing. It's an open source tool from OpenAI called Triton. And the big promise here is that this code can run pretty much anywhere. NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, you get the picture. And this isn't the only crack starting to appear in the castle walls. See, for decades, the tech world lived by this one simple rule, Moore's law. Basically, chips would get twice as fast every couple of years. It was like clockwork. But that party is over. We're literally hitting a wall. We can't really shrink the tiny transistors on these chips any smaller. And that is a huge, huge problem for everyone, even the king, NVIDIA. So that brings us to the biggest engineering puzzle of our generation, right? How do you build bigger, faster, more powerful when you can't get smaller? The old way of doing things? It's done. Finished. The answer they came up with is, frankly, genius. Think of it like this. Instead of trying to bake one enormous, perfect, and super expensive cake where one tiny mistake ruins the whole thing, you bake a bunch of smaller, perfect cupcakes, or chiplets. Then you just arrange them really, really close together. NVIDIA's new Blackwell chip is an absolute masterclass in this design. But here's the catch. This new way of building things, it kind of opens the door for everybody else to play the same game. Because let's be honest, if there's one thing the tech world can't stand, it's a monopoly. And so an alliance is formed, a rebellion of tech giants coming together with one single mission, to tear down the walls of NVIDIA's fortress. They're called the UXL Foundation. And just look at this lineup. Google, Intel, Qualcomm, ARM. These are the heavyweights. And their goal, while it sounds simple, is totally revolutionary. They want to create a universal software layer so that AI code can run on any processor, period. They're not just attacking the castle, they're trying to drain the moat. And make no mistake, this isn't just some pipe dream. It's a full-on strategic plan. Even while NVIDIA was on top of the world, these seeds of rebellion, tools like Triton, were being sown. The real showdown is slated for around 2026, 2027, when they plan to launch the first official version of this universal standard. And all of this is happening right as the demand for these chips is about to go absolutely vertical. Why? Because this fight over silicon isn't just a squabble between tech companies anymore. Oh no, it's gone global. It's geopolitical. We are walking into a brand new era, and they're calling it sovereign AI. So what the heck is sovereign AI? Well, it's actually a pretty simple idea. Countries all over the world are looking at the US and saying, you know what, we don't really want to send all our most sensitive data to your data centers anymore. They want to build their own AI in their own languages, reflecting their own cultures. And that is creating an absolute tidal wave of demand backed by massive government budgets. And every single one of them needs chips. And that really brings us right to the core of this whole thing. It's the fundamental choice that every developer, every company, every country has to make right now. Do you go with the perfectly polished, raw power of NVIDIA's all-in-one ecosystem, or do you bet on freedom? The freedom to pick and choose your hardware? And trust me, this is not an easy choice. Just look at the breakdown. You go with NVIDIA, you're paying a huge premium. We're talking like 40 grand a chip. But it just works, right out of the box. Your debugging time is measured in weeks, not months. Now, you could go the open source route. The hardware is cheaper, for sure, but you're going to pay for it in other ways, mainly your engineer's sanity. As they spend months debugging and waiting for software updates, it's that classic trade-off, right? The slick, fast, perfect option versus the cheaper, more flexible one. But there's a huge danger in bending the knee to the king. It's called vendor lock-in. And what that really means is you become a hostage. You're at the mercy of NVIDIA's pricing. You're at the mercy of their supply chain. If they have a production hiccup and can't get you chips, your entire business could literally just go dark. And that's not even mentioning the fortune you'll have to spend on the crazy liquid cooling systems these things need to even run. Which brings me to what I think is the most critical point of this whole story. The winner of this chip war, it might not be decided by who makes the fastest piece of silicon. The winner is going to be decided by millions of individual programmers all over the world, making one simple choice every single day. Which ecosystem do I write my code for? So that's the question we're left with. NVIDIA has built this incredible empire of silicon and code, right? A fortress that seems unbeatable. But now, this rebellion is rising. And they're not armed with faster chips. They're armed with an idea, the idea of freedom. So in this massive battle for the future of AI, you have to wonder, is an idea powerful enough to dethrone the Silicon King?